I can't really read or research. And so when people started asking where our jewelry was coming from and stopping us on the street and being like, "Can I have a business card?" And David really was inspired. He's like, "I want to get your jewelry out into the world."
Growing a jewelry business is hard enough, but imagine if the unspeakable happens, that you're injured or something physically happens to you that prevents you from doing the things that you used to do every single day, like on autopilot. What would you do? Well, my hope is that today's guest is going to be a huge inspiration for you. I'm Tracy Matthews. I'm the Chief Visionary Officer of Flourish and Thrive Academy and the host of the Thrive by Design podcast. And I help jewelry business owners launch, grow, and scale successful 6 to multiple 7-figure businesses using my methodology. And I'm excited to be here today to introduce a very special guest. Her name is Danielle, or Ellie Burkett. She has been participating in every single challenge that we've had for this entire year and has been growing her business in spite of having a traumatic brain injury. Now, I think that you're going to find some amazing insights. She is the founder of Sonder Adornment, which she builds with her husband. And she's a mom to a young child, and she's doing all the things. She is such an inspiration. I think that you're going to love this episode. So before we dive in, I just wanted to say, if you're enjoying this channel and you want to learn more jewelry business advice and you would like to build a profitable, sustainable jewelry brand, well, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that little subscribe button and hit that notification bell. And then also share your thoughts on the episode in the comments below after the episode is over. So let's dive into this episode with Ellie Burkett of Sonder Adornments. It's an honor to have Ellie Burkett on the show today. I am so excited to have you here, Ellie. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this episode with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
So to create some context here, Ellie has been showing up to like every single challenge that we've done this year, or boot camp, or anything free that we're hosting here at Flourish and Thrive for our community. And she is a shining example of someone who plays full out and gets things done. But there's a plot twist to her story, because I didn't know this until like the third challenge in, but she's a traumatic brain injury survivor. And she is building a jewelry business in light of like her situation. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that and how she's navigating the world of being an entrepreneur and a business owner, and how she's like such a powerful force in showing up for herself and her business and her family in light of something that a lot of people would just, resign to or give up. So I hope it's okay that I said that, but that's really how I feel about you. It's really impressive. So my first question is I want to hear a little bit more about how you decided to start making jewelry. Why don't we start there?
Yeah, I started making jewelry in November of this last year.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was just in the depths of postpartum depression and needed a distraction. So I decided to make jewelry for all my friends and family for Christmas instead of buying gifts. I just put that money towards supplies. And the really unique thing about it was that my brain injury has caused a pain disorder in my eyes, so that I can't really focus on art or look closely at things. And so doing anything artistic for the last years has just caused extreme pain. So it's not something I can really get myself lost in or enjoy. But working with the clay and the paints that I was using and the dyes did not cause any flaring.
Wow.
They didn't add to my pain at all, because I could feel the textures and I could do it without focusing my eyes in. I could follow colors and just go with the textures that I was feeling. It was just a magical moment to realize I finally found an art source after 6 years almost that could enter into a space again of creativity and make something people were loving and asking about, and I was getting stopped in the street about. And so that's kind of how I started making it.
That's amazing. It's incredible. Do you want to share anything about your accident? Or if not, that's okay too.
I was hit by a car in 2017, 6 months after we got married, and have developed a pain syndrome called complex regional pain syndrome. It is the worst pain, medically speaking. When it's flaring, it is higher than childbirth, and I will lose consciousness from it. So it's mostly located here in my face. And then I also have a migraine disorder called hemiplegic migraine, which only 1 in 10,000 migraine sufferers experience, but it is just like a stroke. So my whole one side will go
Oh my
limp
gosh.
and droopy. I won't be able to roll over or get to the bathroom. I drool. It gets really gross.
Oh
Um,
God, you poor thing.
so, um, yeah, so my body is very, very unpredictable since, and I became fully disabled very quickly, and there was just no way to work or do much of anything that I used to do before.
So, how are you so positive? Like, most people would just want to crawl under their covers and feel sorry for themselves. And you're out here building like this huge Instagram following and just talking about everything that you're doing. Like, how do you stay positive? Like,
I have a extremely supportive partner. So there's not as much fear as there would be were I to be alone trying to deal with all of this. And so that is definitely the biggest, for sure, is just that I have a lot of support around me. And yeah, I mean, I am 6 years into the journey. And so what you see right now is been years of developing systems within our house and within our lifestyle that help keep my pain as low as possible, keep my body safe, and so that it looks a lot more positive than it did in the beginning, and stuff. But it's still, we content batch all of the stuff that goes on social media. So we'll be recording like crazy during a good Saturday morning, as a family. But none of that shows that 4 days out of the week I was behind closed doors, all the blinds drawn, taking tons of medications to keep from throwing up and losing consciousness. And so there is a dark side that we just don't really have a way of showing. So it's not all bright and sunshiny,
yeah,
but because it's so unpredictable, when I'm okay, when I can stand, when I can walk, I've just got to do it because
yeah,
I don't know if I'll be able to do that in 4 hours. So it keeps me living very grounded and very present
yeah.
in
I could
the moment.
imagine you have to be like in the moment. I'm like so glad you're here right now. I'm like, let's hurry and get this up. No, just joking.
I know, it's a little nervous. My service dog did alert. And I was like, not a good day, buddy.
That is so funny. So,
Yeah,
so you're also a mother. You have a young child. How old's your baby again?
just turned 2.
Okay, just turned 2.
Mhm.
So you're, in it when all this happened. How do you stay so motivated? Like, how do you keep yourself motivated as a mom and a wife?
Again, my partner, David, he is such a huge cheerleader, and he does a lot of the behind the scenes work. So I'm doing the art and he is getting business forms made and filing reports and doing a lot of that stuff, helping record and plan and batch content. So I just it's hard to not be positive when someone is right beside you, like
Yeah.
cheering you on and so excited about the fact that I have a space to create and that
Yeah,
I'm here to create. And
I bet.
yeah, and it's the same with our little, like each moment that I have that I am present and able to like get on the ground and play with him is such a gift.
Yeah.
So that's the only way to look at it without losing your mind over how painful it is.
Yeah.
So
So with your jewelry collection and your business, you guys are both running it together. Is this like the only thing that you guys are doing, or is it that he's doing something else as well?
He works full time.
Yeah, I imagine.
And then he comes home and we put the baby to bed and sit on the couch and he works on the computer.
Yeah, and that's when you
And
work on the business.
yep. So, and then on the weekends, we're working together to brainstorm. And on days that, I'm really needing to finish up a piece of jewelry and get it shipped out, he's coming home and he's taking the baby and then putting it to sleep and,
Yeah.
doing everything. I rarely ever wash dishes. Like
He is a saint.
full
I
in.
feel like I
He's
want to like be able to
amazing.
send you guys like a house manager or something.
I know. I would love that. And I also would love for
I
you to
would love it.
meet.
I would love it for myself. And when I have enough money to do it for both, maybe
Yeah,
I'll send you guys one too.
yeah, you'll definitely have to meet him sometime because
I would love that.
he is an energy source of his own.
Yeah, I bet. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about the collection you design. I know it's clay and the paints and all those things, but like, are you designing in collections, one of a kind? How are you selling the products? And like, how do you get it out into the world?
Yeah, we do mostly one of a kind, but it's all in a collection that kind of goes together.
Yes.
So I don't have a huge business yet, and so we're still making very small scale, but it's all very purposeful and very, I mean, I rarely make more than two pieces of the
Mhm.
same kind. And so, yeah, that's kind of how we're doing it. And then how we get it out in the world is Shopify.
I know, I love it. Yay.
Yeah, and that was definitely thanks to your boot camp.
Okay, that's awesome. Do you feel like
Yeah.
most of the people who are buying your products are in the TBI or traumatic brain injury community? Is that like kind of how you've built your audience, or is it just people who love your work and all those things? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Mostly we have very curious customers, but not many that have come forward and told me about, chronic illness or TBI, or there's a few that have found us, and we've gotten a lot of followings from reels talking about my traumatic brain injury, but it's always also about how we're making jewelry through it. So most of our customers are not not in the chronic illness community that they've shared with
Mhm.
us.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
I wasn't sure or not because I know you have like a nice following on Instagram and
It's
you
been
guys talk about
surprising.
that a lot. Yeah,
Yeah. Slow and steady.
it's great. So you've joined us for so many of our challenges and our boot camps over at Flourish and Thrive Academy. What is
Mhm.
it that made you want to join those challenges?
I can't really read or research. And so when people started asking where our jewelry was coming from and stopping us on the street and being like, "Can I have a business card?" And David really was inspired. He's like, "I want to get your jewelry out into the world." I didn't really, he obviously didn't have the time to do a ton of research. He's working full time. We're raising a toddler together. He is a full time caretaker of a disabled wife. So there wasn't a lot of extra research he could pour into the idea.
Mhm.
He just wanted to make it happen. And I have the time. I'm not able to work, but I'm also not able to read
Mhm.
or really do much research. And even listening to podcasts or audiobooks becomes very difficult very fast. I kind of have to save my audio
Yeah, is it
abilities for the
overwhelming?
toddler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets very overwhelming. And so I just saw an ad for the boot camp in the midst of all of this conversation, and we were leaning towards just kind of like starting a little Etsy so
Hmm.
that we had a place to direct people. And yeah, I think it was like the week before the boot camp that I saw the ad and was like, well, I could watch a video
Yeah.
and hopefully, like I'm not a master class taker, so I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I knew that your brand and your company was professional and it was trustworthy and I could, really soak in whatever you had to offer me, and I hoped that it was something that would make a difference, and it was so much more.
Well, tell me about that. Like, how, I mean, I know that you were kind of just starting out, but how's your business changed since you joined a boot camp? Since you've
We
joined all these
launched.
challenges and boot camp. Launched? Okay,
We
amazing.
opened. Yeah, we opened 2 weeks after that first boot camp.
Amazing.
And those were crazy 2 weeks because we went from, oh, we'll just put a few things on Etsy to, all right, let's get a Shopify, let's get this license, let's get
Oh my
an
gosh.
about page, let's get all of our policies and procedures and what's our vision, and like we just dove in. I'm not really a fake it till you make it, person, but we wanted to show up as, as the business we wanted to be. And so we just, we just cleaned everything we possibly could from the boot camp, and that kind of launched us into it.
And now you're like successfully using, like selling your products, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, we have been from day one, and it's not really a friends and family following either. So
So great.
it's been pretty amazing. We just use the boot camps as just like a place to gather as much as possible, like, and then we take weeks to try and implement and just integrate it all. But it has brought us to the place where we had a medical emergency this last summer that was completely unexpected, and I haven't been able to put a penny towards even groceries for years. But we had my art, we had a customer base, we had an email list, we had all of these things that you had guided us into, and we were able to run a sale and stay out of medical debt and
So
pay
great.
those bills when they needed to be paid. And I'm still just like in shock that we're even in the space that I could say that happened.
Wow.
And yeah, that was within 5 months of opening, right after that boot camp.
Wow. I mean, that's huge. I mean, I know, like, I can't even imagine what medical bills cost in a situation like yours. So it's like, I know it, like sometimes when I'm get hit with a big bill, I'm like, it's like, how am I going to do this? And I just so happy for you that you've been able to get such a great result from that. So from the boot camps and the challenges, and that they
Life
actually
changing.
help get you a result in your business. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
Um, so I wanted to ask you, like, what are some of your favorite parts about, like, when you're participating in the boot camp? Like, what are your favorite parts about it?
The Facebook group.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the Facebook group, and it's always so sad when it closes at the end. But it's just such a great space for David and I to see other jewelers out there at all different stages,
Mm-hmm.
asking all kinds of questions. And, I've, we just, I listen and just kind of glean the energy. I share it with David. I send him the replays, and then we just kind of like work off of that. We do the homework. We try and implement as much as possible. I show up to the Q&As, and we treat it as a very intensive week for us. But we're there to get everything we possibly can.
That's so
um,
great. I mean, you guys are
and
implementing it. Like, you're on every single call, you're showing up every single minute, like doing all the work on purpose. And like, you're
yeah,
always there and you're
yeah.
always commenting. Like, I don't know how you do it, but you can't read, but like, you're always commenting and stuff like that, and like
I was
participating,
in the
which is
medical
huge.
field, so I can type without looking.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you just a couple more questions. One of them being, what would you say to someone who's thinking about joining the boot camp that wasn't sure, or thinking about, like, maybe they sign up and they don't really participate? Like, what would you say to them?
This is a room you really want to get into. Like, just do it. It's such a small amount of time, and there is so much to glean from it. Do the homework that day, because things build upon each other, and it's so easy to get lost and behind if you're not
Mm-hmm.
doing the homework. And the homework is made to make you money while
Yeah.
you're in the midst of the challenge. And that gives you that energy boost to get through the next day. And so
Yeah.
so if you're not staying on top of the homework and really implementing in the moment, no matter how scary it is, you're going to run out of energy by the end of the week because you're not seeing the results that other people are seeing and other people are celebrating. Yeah, it's always so sad because I've been in so many of the challenges, and to see when someone joins a challenge and then they just become so negative and so lost in their own questioning, and they're not able to receive anymore because they didn't just flow, and they got stopped with the questions. And there's tons of questions. You can always have more questions, and the imposter syndrome is real, especially if you're a baby business and you're suddenly around these incredible jewelers making loads of money and doing these amazing launches. It does feel really scary sometimes. But if you just enter that flow and see where it takes you and just let it go, you won't be sorry. You definitely won't be sorry. There's literally nothing you can lose from doing that.
It's so great. I love it. Are there any other words of inspiration that you'd like to share with our listeners today?
Don't stop with just the homework. The homework is a great launching point for the day, but when there's a website review, I always have my website open and my back end open, and I am comparing and I am taking notes on what is being directed at somebody else's website, but I can still learn from that. And, we spend the evenings going through our social media and retaking this last challenge. Lauren gave some direction on photography and product photos. And so we literally re-photographed all of our products that day.
You guys are action takers, man.
Yeah, well, like I said, we live very much in the moment.
Yeah.
So it's an endless amount of things that you can get out of the boot camps and the challenges. And you can definitely do so much more if you go a little bit beyond the homework and just start playing around and experimenting with your actual space.
Awesome. Well, Ellie, thank you so much for being here today. We are so excited to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you.
Are you going to be joining us for the Expand Your Audience Challenge that's happening in a couple weeks?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll see you there. You'll have to post in the group. Hi, I'm Ellie. Here's my podcast episode. Where can everyone find you if they want to follow you on Instagram or look at your website?
Yeah, our Instagram is at Sonder Adornment, and our website is sonderadornment.com.
Awesome. Ellie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tracy. Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to the show today. This is Tracy Matthews signing off until next time. And if you haven't yet, make sure that you participate in our Expand Your Audience, Grow Your Sales Bootcamp. We are super excited to support you in doubling your audience and getting outside of the friends and family zone. Check that link below and join us for this. Ciao.